Hello. Okay, you want to host a handmade or homemade swap, whatever you want to call it. Sunday swap, girl swap, doesn't matter. There are at least a handful different names out there, so be sure and look up all of them when you're looking up ideas. But anyways, you need to host one. You want to host one, but you're clueless as to what you should make. Girl, I got you, okay? I have been keeping a list of ideas, all right? Not on my phone because I am a pen and paper gal, but I did Pinterest and download some pictures so I can pop some pictures on the screen to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these ideas, when I make these suggestions, whatever. Okay, let's not waste any time and let's just get into it. So first, book bricks. How stinking cute would these be, especially if you know what your friends love to read, or if you know their favorite book genre, or there's just a book that like makes you think of them. These would be so cute. Yes, it would be a heavy haul, but honestly, there is so much potential with customization. These would be so stinking cute. And it could just be something that they put in their garden or on their front steps or by their door. It doesn't even have to be outside. It's just super cute and thoughtful. Next, tea towels with custom prints. Have y'all seen this? Where they like take leaves or citrus or apples or something and use acrylic paint and use the fruit as stamps and stuff. So cute. You could also paint like tomatoes or fruit on it with acrylic paint. I mean, whatever you want to do. I have seen so many different videos, but doing custom tea towels, especially if you know the colors or a favorite flower, you could always ask your group of friends as well. Because if somebody's allergic to tomatoes and you give them a tea towel with tomatoes, they'll probably think it's cute, but at the same time, they might think you don't like them. So I would recommend knowing your friends or asking your group. Send out a survey. You could do a Google survey. We've had a couple of moms do that. And it's just a fun way to know people in more depth and find their favorite things so that you can truly customize something for them. So fun. Definitely recommend it. Okay, another thing, bookmarks. You could make watercolor bookmarks, you could sew bookmarks, you could do these fun, funky ones right up here. You could do beaded bookmarks. I mean, the list goes on and on. You could do vegan leather bookmarks. I mean, quilted bookmarks. You could do so many things. So many things. I made little tea bag bookmarks one year, not for a homemade swap, but I made them as gifts. They were such a hit. And they were really fun. That was the first time I did some hand embroidery. They were so much fun to make. Definitely recommend something like that, especially if you have friends that are tea drinkers. Like, that is so special. Up next, handmade note cards. You could literally save paper scraps and make your own paper if you're that crafty. Or you could just make a set of like 5 note cards for your friends with envelopes. This could go so many ways. If you're a scrapbook person, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a scrapbook person, this may be something fun for you to do that is just different. You could make them, you could customize those note cards to each person. You could write who they're going to be from, and they can use those note cards for anything. I mean, I personally love to mail cards, and I love to receive mailed cards or snail mail. So it's just a fun way to invite people to start writing letters, I guess. And I'm all about that. You could also pre-stamp the envelopes, which could get a little pricey, but depending on if you already are using stuff you have on hand, it could be fairly cheap. Jams, jellies, those are a given. Anything homemade, sourdough, muffins, bagels, I mean, the list can go on. Anything homemade food-wise would be so delicious. Pickles, bone broth, I mean, you could really go all out. Plus, if you're not good at making something like this, you could always, I mean, it is a handmade swap or homemade swap, you could always buy them from the farmer's market, supporting your local farmer's market or your local small business that sells things like that, the Amish, the Mennonites, whatever, and then that would be the gift for your friend. Even if you didn't make it, you could always, even if your friends aren't crafty, let's say they don't make homemade stuff, you can go buy homemade, handmade things to swap, because that's still intentional and still a fun gathering. Flavored maple syrup. You're gonna have to look this up. I don't know how to do it, but flavored maple syrup, that would be so good, wouldn't it? So delicious. Also, on the same note with food stuff, flavored salt to cook with. Yes, my dad one time got my husband a scorpion pepper salt. It was like a finishing salt for steak. My husband loved it. And it was made locally at some place in Texas that he got. Just saying, fun and different, okay? Don't be scared to go out of your element to try and make these things for your friends. That's what makes it so fun and exciting. And if you're a crafty person, I love a homemade swap because it gives you the opportunity to make the things you want to make without keeping a bunch on hand. You know what I'm talking about. On the same note, vanilla extract. I mean, you probably should have started 6 months ago if you're going to have this party soon. Or if your party's in 6 months, you better start now. Get you some vanilla beans from Madagascar. I think is that where the vanilla beans are from? The good ones. Get you some vanilla beans, make you some homemade vanilla extract. Everybody loves it, especially gearing up for the holidays. What a fun gift that will get used for people who love to bake. If your people don't like to bake, they probably won't use it. But it's still the thought that counts. Okay, moving on, I have Christmas ornaments. Look at these fun Christmas ornaments. Felt, beads, beautiful, and all of these crafts are so enriching for your brain. Try something new. You might love this. This might become a new tradition for you. Like, you never know. It might seem intimidating, but I bet there's gonna be something on this list that you love. Quilted coasters. I am not a great quilter. My quilting never lines up because I'm not a professional. I've just started. So if you just started, might not be the thing for you unless you are bold and brave like me and you're like, I'm doing it anyways. Quilted coasters, especially for like the cottagecore grandma craft moms, they're gonna love this. I would love these. If somebody made these for me, I would probably cry. And I don't cry often, but they would see tears because those are precious. Maybe I need to make me some. I'll make them later. A beanie with a quilted quilt block, miniature quilt block like this. How stinking cute. And you could do this by hand. You don't even need a machine. Do it by hand. That would be so fun. You could also visit your local sewing store. If you have a local like small business sewing store, they might have stuff like this for sale, or you could hire out somebody make those miniature quilt blocks for you. You just pay them and then you put them on the hats. You could always do that too. I mean, you never know. A quilter might be able to knock that out in like no time and they can make a little money and you can make a little money. I mean, you could not make money, have less time. What am I trying to say? They could make a little money and you don't have to do something that's so taxing or time consuming if you don't have the time to make those. That's what I'm trying to say. Stained jars with fresh cut flowers. There are lots of tutorials on YouTube and Pinterest for staining your own jars. Oh, so fun. You can collect jars and just stain them yourself, especially if you know somebody like really loves amber glass or the blue or the green. What a fun gift. And then put fresh flowers in it. Better yet, if you have your own flowers, by the way, if you're gonna have one in the fall, it is July 27th today. So you could start planting your own flowers now so that you have them by your fall swap. Wouldn't that be cute? Oh, I would love to take home fresh flowers. Like that would be beautiful. Plant all the fall flowers, sunflowers, zinnias, everything. Obviously it depends on where you live. So check your zone to see what flowers are best for you. Clay jewelry dishes. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I love a good jewelry dish and I always find use for them. So a fun jewelry dish that's different, maybe each one is painted different, like in their favorite color or has like their monogram on it. You could do some like metallic gold painting or metallic paint pen or something. How pretty would that be? Yes, I love that. You could learn to whittle something. Have you ever thought of that? Whittling, first of all, there would be a learning curve, 100%. Lots of videos out there you could watch. But that would be so fun to learn a new skill. Whittling is like becoming a lost skill. This would be fun to help your brain and just do something with your hands that's different, that's not crocheting or knitting. Not saying that you don't want to do those, maybe you love those things, but this is just different. And I guarantee you, nobody else at that swap is going to have something whittled, okay? Guaranteed. So it would be fun. It would be a surprise. Look at the little mushrooms. I mean, it's so cute. Dried citrus garland. Yes, you could do dried citrus garland. Make it about 6 foot. They could hang it on a doorway. They could hang it on their mantle. They could hang it above their stove, anywhere. That would be so fun, especially if you're doing a swap, getting like closer to the holidays, a fall swap or a Christmas swap or something. That is just precious, and I think moms would really love that. Moving on to no clutter / no waste, which I already did food stuff. These are some ideas I have if you're looking for ideas that don't clutter up somebody's house. Maybe they live in a tiny home. Maybe they just don't have much space in general. Here's the things you need to make. Lavender bath salt. Who doesn't love bath salt? Unless they don't own a bathtub. Bath salts are just awesome for the bathtub only. Milk soap. If you have never washed with goat milk soap or fresh milk soap in general, it is so creamy and it leaves your skin feeling so good. Like way better than Castile soap, okay? I love me a good bar milk soap. I do love Castile soap as well, but bar soap, you will not see me passing up a bar of milk soap any day. I actually have a friend coming over in a few days because I've been meaning to buy some from her and I keep forgetting. So she's gonna come over, look through some of my books. I'm gonna get some soap from her. It's gonna be a win-win. She also made soap for our handmade swap. I love it. I love it. It is so good. It's so good. Milk soap, if you don't know how to make it, again, this is one you can just go buy from somebody. Support locals, okay? They could be local moms, so that would be fantastic. Natural air freshener with spices, you know, the kind of spices you put on the stove, like citrus and cinnamon, and it smells like fall. For like Christmas time, you could do like a pine one. You could do a couple of different ones, something that represents spring in your eyes, or summer or fall and winter. Do a couple, like do all season ones, and then let people pick the season they like, you know, that would be cool. Put it in little fabric bags or mesh bags, and then it's all together and they could just stick it in their pot of water and boil it. Or they could dump it. I mean, whatever you want to do, but that would be so cool. Who doesn't love an air freshener like that? I do, because I don't do air fresheners in my home, okay? Already said that. Oh, room spray. Love a good room spray. A fresh room spray. Those are so easy to make. You will be shocked at how easy they are to make. That is a fun gift idea. Body butter. Homemade lotion, basically, with shea butter. You can buy it on Amazon. You can get all of the things you need to make homemade butter. Whip it up. So good, so good. Or better yet, your homemade body butter could be tallow, whipped tallow, so good. And tallow is so good for your skin, real, actual tallow. You could also get soap nuts. I don't know if y'all know what soap nuts are, and you could put them in a little mesh bag, and that, like, they could put it at their sink, and that's what you wash your hands with. So cool. So very crunchy as well, might I add. Dip seasoning mix. Okay, you can put it in whatever kind of bag you want. Do a ranch dip, an Italian dip, do some taco seasoning, whatever. Or just make one theme for everybody. And there you go, homemade dip seasonings. You know, they can mix it with sour cream or cream cheese or whatever, and then they have their very own homemade seasoning. That's special. And I like it because everybody cooks a little bit different. They add a little bit something else to make it their own, especially if you enjoy cooking and you're comfortable cooking. You follow the recipe, but you always add a little something else that's like you to it. You know what I'm saying? I do that. So my food isn't going to taste like Jenny from the block, because hers be tasting way different. You know, she has her own pizzazz than me. And yeah, I just think that's special, and I love that. Especially if you know somebody loves something of yours. Yes! Okay, sorry, I just got too excited there. A sugar scrub. If you've never made homemade sugar scrub, so easy, so fun to make, and they're fun to gift. Very fun to gift. You could also make a pillow spray. Okay, let me show you the one I use. Okay, I bought this one years ago. It has since ran out like 5 times. And I've just looked on the back at the ingredients and refilled it with what I have at the house. So water, I filled it probably up to the green line with water. And then lavender, essential oil, tangerine, bergamot, cypress, geranium, coconut oil, I did not add that, frankincense and chamomile. I don't think I had tangerine. I had probably a citrus blend is what I added. And then I also added, honestly, whatever smells good, whatever smells I like together, I just add. But these smells are fantastic. And then once you add about 20 drops of each, no, I start with 20 and then I decrease like 3 drops a piece. Does that make sense? So lavender was the first one. I'll do 20 drops of that. And then tangerine, I did like 18 drops of that, and just decrease. But then once you have all your essential oils in, you fill it up the rest of the way with witch hazel. That is what is going to hold that oil together. Give it a good shake for your pillow, and then it smells so good. It smells so good. I like the little metal spray bottle. You could get glass spray bottles on Amazon. This is 2.4 ounces. I think that's a pretty good size for a pillow spray. And they can just keep it on their nightstand at night. I love this stuff. I love it. I feel so, it says relaxing, but I just feel so fresh when I don't know, my bed just feels fresh when I spray it. The last thing on my list is some type of healing salve. Now, if you are an herbalist or you dabble in oil diffusing, I don't know what I'm saying. You dabble in creating your own salves and herbal medicines and stuff like that, you could make a plantain salve. Go outside, especially if you live in an area or you know of an area that doesn't get sprayed with chemicals. You can go harvest some plantain and make some plantain salve. I would recommend putting it in small little tins because that plantain salve is so good for bug bites, poison ivy. It's good for so many things. But you could just make a general healing salve as well, and that would be good too. So there's my list, and if you have questions or comments, drop them below. This year, y'all know what I'm making this year? Hopefully nobody is going to our homemade swap in the fall because I'm about to tell y'all what I'm making. I am making quilted tote bags. I'm so excited! So excited. The problem is, I don't know if I want to make everybody like the same style or if I want to make multiple styles. So I think I'm going to make multiple ones and just let people pick, or I might make them specifically for a person, because I think that's what I'm going to do, because I have 2 that I'm specifically making for somebody because of the fabric for 2 different people. And then the other people, I might get help on seeing what they would like if somebody likes mushrooms and plaid, they'll get that one. If somebody else likes this floral or that floral, so I'm gonna ask my friend and see what she says, and she can help me decide. But quilted tote bags, those are gonna be so much fun to make. I may be burnt out by the time this is over, but that's okay. I'm gonna give it everything I got, because who doesn't want a quilted tote bag? That's gonna be so cute. They're gonna be so cute. I am just so excited. Anyways, you don't have to go that crazy. You could just do something simple. Yeah. Let me know if this was helpful, and let me know if you're hosting a homemade or handmade swap, and let me know what you're calling it too, because I've heard it called so many different things. Okay, I'll see y'all next time.